Where's my little squirrel? What is all this?
Oh, Torvald, I have a surprise for you.
Spending again.
It is the first Christmas we don't have to scrimp. After all, we're going to be rich soon.
Oh, we're not going to be rich, just better off. And not until the first of the year.
Well, we can borrow until then.
Borrow?
I'm sorry.
You know how much that kind of talk upsets me.
I know, I'm sorry.
Don't sulk. Show me what you've bought.
Oh, presents for the children. This is for Bobby, and a doll for Emmy, and a horn for Ivar.
And this?
Oh, no. You mustn't open that yet. That's for you. That's a surprise.
And for Nora? My little bird hasn't told me what she wants.
I don't want anything.
Come, something reasonable.
Well?
Out with it.
Well, if you really want to give me something, you could give me money.
What?
Just a little money. Whatever you can spare, and then later I can buy myself something with it to please you.
All the names I have for you, and I have so many. I keep landing on spendthrift. That you're very sweet, but very expensive.
Well, I save all the money I can.
Yes, that's exactly it. You save all you can, but you can't save any of it.
Of course not.
Well, true, darling. You are exactly like your father.
No, I'm not.
Oh, yes, you are. Always on the lookout for money. And then, completely unable to hold on to it once you have it.
Well, I wish I were more like him.
Oh, my darling. You are almost perfect as you are. What's this? Chocolate?
What?
Has my little sweet tooth been nibbling again? Has she?
I haven't.
Are you sure? Perhaps a little candy? Maybe a
Oh,
macaroon?
really, Torvald? You know I wouldn't think of going against your wishes.
I know. You made a promise, and I know you would never break a promise. Oh, forgive me.
Of course. Just don't be cranky on Christmas Eve.
Torvald, Mrs. Helmer.
Dr. Rank, Dr. Rank.
Let's go to my study and talk. Leave our little bird to parse the great treasures.
Hello, Nora.
Hello?
You don't know me, do you?
No, Wait a minute. Is it?
Yes.
Christine!
Yes.
Oh, you changed.
Oh, I have? Well, it has been years.
And you're here now. This makes it the perfect Christmas. We have so much to catch up on. Oh, I recognize you now.
Nonsense. I've changed and I know it. I'm a worn-out old widow.
Forgive me. When did it happen?
3 years ago.
I read about it. I meant to write to you. And you have no children? Did he leave you anything?
Nothing. Not even grief.
Christine, don't say that.
It's true.
Well, you make me feel guilty.
For what?
Because, Christine, I have 3 wonderful children. And Torvald has just been named manager of the bank. After the first of the year, he won't just be a lawyer anymore. He'll be an executive.
How wonderful.
It hasn't been easy for us. Torvald wouldn't just take up any case. He has very fixed principles about what is proper, so we both had to work extra hard.
Both of you? You two?
Oh, just a little needlework and embroidery. Torvald is the one who really exhausted himself. The second year we were married, he fell extremely ill.
I remember that. I heard you went to Italy.
Yes, the doctor said it was the only thing that could save him. We had to spend a whole year there. It wasn't easy.
Oh, I can imagine. And it must have cost a fortune.
It did. We got the money from my father. And that part was awful too. My father was so ill.
He died, I heard.
He did. Christine, that was the worst time of my life. I loved that old man so much, and I couldn't be there to take care of him because of my first baby and Torvald, and so he died alone.
Poor Nora.
I couldn't even go to the funeral. But we are very lucky. We have a beautiful house and wonderful children, and we're going to be rich soon. Oh, I'm sorry.
What? But for being happy?
I didn't mean to boast. Now, tell me all about you. Why did you marry a man you didn't love?
Well, he asked me.
Oh, Christine!
He had money. My mother was ill, and I had 2 small brothers. It was all right for a while, and then his business failed, and he had a stroke, and I went to work in a shop. 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, until he died.
I'm sorry, Christine.
Oh, it's all right. Now Mother's gone too, and the boys have grown up, and they don't need me anymore.
Is that why you've come to town?
Oh, I need to find work. I don't have a father to give me money.
What?
Well, you have to do a little needlework.
For just a minute.
What's the worst that came of it? Eye straight, stiff fingers.
Christine.
It's nothing against you, Nora, but you are a child.
Am I? That's very arrogant of you to say so.
What do you mean?
You're supposed to be my friend, and now you're talking just like everybody else, as if I'm not fit for something really serious. You think you're the only one of us to have done something they're really proud of? I have a secret in my life that I've never told anybody. I have something in my life that I'm very, very proud of.
Then why is it a secret?
Are you really my friend?
I've always thought so.
You must never tell this to a living soul. Torvald must never know. It was me. I saved Torvald's life.
But your father...
My father didn't have 4,800 kroner.
Then how? Nora, you couldn't have borrowed it.
Why not?
Because a wife can't legally borrow without her husband's consent.
No?
You did it without his consent.
Did I say I did? Maybe I got it from a secret admirer. I'm not that bad looking, am I?
Nora, you're crazy.
I've got you interested now, don't I? Maybe your opinion of poor, silly little Nora is finally changing. I got the money all by myself, Christine. I saved my husband's life.
And how did you pay it back?
Oh, pay it back. I'm still paying it back. In regular increments, of course. Sometimes I cheat a little on the household budget or take odd jobs, but now with Torvald's new job, I'll be able to pay it off in full, and then I'll be free.
Mrs. Helmer, I've come to see your husband.
What about?
I work at the bank, and today it was announced that your husband is to be our new boss.
So, this is just...
Just routine business, Mrs. Helmer, nothing more.
My husband is in his study.
Who was that man? Nora!
I don't know, a lawyer?
Krogstad. But you do know him. We both do.
I do? He...
Nora, surely you remember. My Krogstad? The man I should have married?
Yes, Krogstad.
It was him. Krogstad lent you the money.
Yes, but you mustn't tell a soul.
Why? Krogstad?
Oh, Christine. He's changed. He's horrid.
Maybe I can do something to help?
You would? Oh, Dr. Rank.
Am I intruding? Your husband has a visitor.
Not at all. I would like you to meet my dear friend, Mrs. Linde.
Dr. Rank, how's Torvald?
Oh, no, Torvald isn't ill anymore. Dr. Rank is just a dear, dear friend. He visits Torvald almost every day, and me too, I like to think.
How do you do? Have you come to the city to visit?
Oh no, to find work. One has to live, Doctor.
Yes, even peculiar creatures like the one in there with Mr. Helmer have to live.
Who?
That man, Krogstad. Oh, you wouldn't know him, but he's a bad lot. Even he began talking about having to live as if it was something of vast importance, his miserable little life.
Perhaps he needs help.
There, that's the sort of thinking that turns society into a hospital. Why do you laugh?
Oh, Dr. Rank, is everybody in the bank dependent on Torvald from now on?
Is that what you find so amusing?
Oh, it's just funny to think that Torvald will have such power over so many people. Would you like a macaroon?
I thought Torvald had forbidden them.
Oh, yes, but these are some that Christine brought over. How was she to know that Torvald says they ruin his wife's beautiful teeth? Oh, Torvald! I would like you to meet Mrs. Linde, an old friend of mine. She has come all this way just to see you.
Nora.
Well, practically. She's enormously good at office work and is finding a job in order to perfect herself under some clever man.
Very sensible, Mrs. Linde.
What better clever man could she find in the whole city than you?
Oh,
You'll do something for her, right? For my sake.
of course. I'm sure something can be arranged.
How can I thank you?
Oh, you already have by being my wife's friend. Coming, Rank? I'll accompany you out.
Mrs. Linde, will you join us?
Oh yes, I must find a room to rent.
Oh, Christine, you have to come to our dance. Torvald is making me dance the tarantella. And all of you, come back for Christmas dinner. Nothing must ruin this Christmas Eve.
What a funny little bird wife you are.
But, children,
Mama, can we play hide and seek?
of course. I will count down through 10, and that's what will happen, okay? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Mrs.
2.
Helmer.
Oh, it's you. Children, Anne-Marie, go into the kitchen for your hot chocolate.
What about our game?
No, my dears.
Do we need to protect you from this scary man?
No, dears. Mother will be fine. Come, children, come. What are you doing here? It is not the first of the month yet.
No, it's Christmas Eve. And it's up to you how much Christmas cheer you'll have.
Please come to the point.
Your husband is going to fire me. You must ensure that I keep my position at the bank.
What makes you think I have any sort of influence over my husband?
I have known him since we were students. A pretty lady always has influence.
How dare you! If you speak like that, I will show you to the door.
Well, since you are in such a hurry to throw me out, I will get to the point. Listen to me, Mrs. Helmer. If it becomes necessary, I will fight to the death for my little job at the bank.
I'm listening.
You know, as everyone does, that I was in trouble years ago. I forged a check. The case never came to trial, but word got around, and soon there wasn't a respectable firm that would hire me for any job. And that's how I happened to fall into the business that you're familiar with. But now, I want to put all of that behind me. I am a widow. My 4 boys are growing up. This position at the bank was the first step to respectability. And now your husband wants to kick me back into the mud again.
It is not in my power to help you.
Then I can force you to.
You wouldn't tell my husband that I owe you money? Oh, I couldn't bear him having to learn the truth from you.
Listen to me, Mrs. Helmer. Either you possess a terrible memory or a very shaky grasp of business.
Excuse me?
Allow me to get a few facts straight for you. Do you really think that the worst thing you have to fear in all of this is your husband's disenchantment?
How do you mean?
When your husband was ill, you came to me for 4,800 kroner, which I supplied in exchange for your promissory note.
We both know all that.
Yes, you signed that note. But below your signature, I added some lines stating that your father was to guarantee the loan. Your father was to sign it and date his own signature. Do you remember that?
I think so.
I gave you the note so that you can mail it to your father. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
And then 5 days later, you returned to me with the money, with the note, and I gave you the money.
Well, haven't I been meeting my payments?
Yes, but to return to my questions, that was a difficult time.
Yes, it was.
Your father was very ill, I believe.
He was. He died not long after.
Tell me, Mrs. Helmer, do you by any chance happen to recall the date of your father's death?
Of course. Papa died on the 29th of September.
Quite correct. I'd already confirmed that, and, well, that brings us to a curious thing.
What?
Well, I can't quite figure it out. Your father dated the note 3 days after his death. October 2nd. Isn't that odd, Mrs. Helmer? Can you explain it to me? Well, how very careless of him. How very untidy.
But you are not to speak of my father. He never saw your wretched paper. I signed Papa's name.
Mrs. Helmer, are you aware that that is a dangerous confession?
Why? You'll get your money soon enough.
Did it ever occur to you that you were committing fraud against me?
Well, how could I worry about that when my husband was in danger?
Mrs. Helmer, it is clear that you do not realize what exactly it is you are guilty of. But let me tell you this. What I did once was nothing more and nothing worse, and it destroyed me.
You risked everything to save your wife.
The law is not interested in motives.
Well, I don't believe that. Shouldn't a daughter have the right to spare her dying father? Doesn't a wife have the right to save her dying husband? I don't know much about the law, but I know that somewhere in there it says that these things are legal. You must be a very bad lawyer, Mr. Krogstad.
Maybe so, but business, this kind of business that you and I are mixed up in, don't you think I know a little something about that? Good. Do what you want, but hear this. If I get thrown down into the gutter a second time, you're coming with me.
A dreadful man. Dreadful! Torvald, I would do anything for you. I only want to please you.
Nora, who are you talking to?
Myself?
Was there anyone here just now?
Oh, here? No.
That's odd. I just saw Krogstad leave the house.
You did? Well, he was here just for a moment. I forgot.
Forgot? Nora, he was here, asking you to put in a good word for him at the bank. Wasn't he?
Yes.
And you were going to pretend that it was your own idea?
Yes, but
Nora, you could conspire with a man like that? Make a promise to him, and then lie to me about it?
Lie to you?
Didn't you just say there was no one here? Now you must never do that again, my daughter. I want my little bird to sing clear and true, no false notes. Remember that. And that is all we will say of Mr. Krogstad. The issue is closed.
Torvald,
Yes?
you must help me pick a costume for the ball.
Oh, yes. My little beauty will play the Napolitana and dance the Tarantella.
Yes, just for you. Was it really so awful the thing that he did?
Yes.
Well, perhaps he was driven to do it.
Nora, I'm not so hard-hearted that I would condemn the man for a single error.
Oh, of course not.
All men can redeem themselves, as long as they confess their guilt and accept the punishment.
Punishment?
Krogstad didn't do that. He got himself off the hook with tricks and lies. But that's not the worst of it.
What is the worst of it?
Why, his children. An incident of lies corrupts the very soul of the home. Every breath the children take carries infection.
No, it isn't true.
I've seen it, time and time again in court. Behind almost every delinquent child is a lying mother.
Only mothers?
Why, no. Fathers can be just as much to blame. This Krogstad has been poisoning his children for years. That's why I don't want my Nora to plead his case. Give me your hand on that. There, it's settled. You know, I feel sick when I'm around someone like that.
It's getting hot in here, and I have some presents to wrap up.
Yes, I have a few odds and ends in the office I need to finish up. You know I adore you, little birds.
It can't be true. It isn't true. May I bring in the children? They are dying to finish the game.
No, I can't see them just now.
Oh, do let them come in. No, I can't. Madam.
I'm sorry, Anne-Marie. Keep them with you. You can't see them just now.
Yes, madam. I would never. My babies? Poison my home? It can't be true. It isn't true. It isn't true.
Welcome. Thank you for your interest in my new play, A Doll's House. I see you're looking at my picture of Strindberg. Yes, I like to have that madman's eyes on me when I work. Now, I want to thank you all for coming here tonight, but I must reject the honor of having consciously worked for the women's rights movement. My play is primarily, and most importantly, a work of art. While I see now that Nora's eventual exit from her dollhouse will inevitably become an international symbol for women's issues, whatever I've written has been without conscious thought of making propaganda. I'm not even quite clear as to just what this women's rights movement really is. My play is about the human condition. Furthermore, to consult men on what women should or shouldn't be is like asking wolves if they desire better protection for the sheep. Writer, are you here? Yes, you. You had the audacity to say that the new woman springs fully armed from Ibsen's brain. I would never dare to imply that, any more than I would say that I believe my wife Susanna was created from my own rib. However, it is clear to me that a woman cannot be herself in our contemporary society. Our society is an exclusively male society, with laws drafted by men for men. If my work contributes to changing that, then I will not have worked in vain.
Bravo! Bravissimo! Bold and brave words. Our noble protector, Henrick Ibsen. How dare you?
Excuse me, madam, if I've offended you in any way.
In any way? In all ways. Look at you standing there and pontificating. You don't even recognize me, do you?
This is a private meeting. Would you excuse us to continue?
Oh, privacy. We all need our privacy. You really don't know me. Like Nora's Christine Linde, I guess. I've changed. Mental institutions will do that. Now, don't be shocked, everyone, in a fight. Even though, in those institutions, if you aren't crazy when you go in, you are when you come out.
Laura, is it you? Bravo, what a dramatic and exciting entrance. Everyone, may I present Laura Peterson Kieler, a talented writer and protege.
Protege? Don't flatter yourself. Or is it me you're trying to flatter? And why not call me your muse? That would be more appropriate.
Laura, a great injustice has been done to you.
Tell them.
What?
Don't act the innocent. Tell them. You didn't have the courtesy to tell me, but tell them.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
My story, my privacy, my shame. How dare you expose my tragedy and loss to public scrutiny, to critics, even to melodramatic actresses and producers out to exploit the box office? How could you?
You have suffered unjustly. And that brute of a husband.
Don't you dare talk about Victor. Don't you dare utter his name. He has forgiven me. He has allowed me back home. I can see my children. My children, do you hear?
He was wrong to take them from you. To put you in that awful place.
Don't you say a word about it. Don't you? I forbid it. I went on my knees before him, and I would do it again. And now I have no dignity left, no privacy. You took that from me. Yes, everyone, I am your true Nora. This is what really happens when a woman borrows money to save her husband's life. I worked my fingers to the bone to pay back that money, but it was never enough. My husband didn't have the luck of becoming a bank manager. And finally, I forged a check. Yes, I admit it, I'm a criminal. And I would do it again too to save him. We went to Italy. Does all this sound familiar? Are you listening? But unlike our Nora, who will sail out of Ibsen's latest masterpiece, become a new woman, I have had to pay for my crimes. My husband declared me an unfit mother, demanded a legal separation, and had me placed in an insane asylum.
He forced you to spill out your heart's blood.
Yes, you wrote that to me, didn't you? You have a way with words. Oh, I still have your letter. I thought you were my friend, my confidant, and advisor.
I was. Your husband allowed you to slave away on unworthy jobs, concerned neither for your public welfare nor your important work as a writer. You did it all for love. And you were treated monstrously for it by a husband obsessed with his standing in the world.
As I said, don't you dare talk about Victor. How rich! You said my important work as a writer? Admit it, I will never reach your greatness, my hackneyed novels. Admit it, that's what you really think of my writing. What an irony. I came to you years ago as a writer seeking a mentor. I leave as just a footnote to your greatness. A friendship betrayed, my privacy exposed, is nothing compared to the greatness of Ibsen's art. Shame on you!
I couldn't end my play like Laura's life story. Too messy. Too sensational. Too debasing. My Nora would never beg that ignorant man to take her back. No, that would be too easy. Leaving Laura's Victor would be too easy. And my Torvald is not a brute. No, he is all of us. Not a brute, just ignorant. Unable to see what's right in front of him. I think that is all for tonight. I can sign any copies of the play or any playbills you may have. Please excuse the disruption. Oh, and I have to say, she's right. She is only a passable writer.
Greg, you know that he suffered from a fatal disease, consumption of the spine. Your father committed all sorts of excesses, and that's why you've been sickly from childhood. Do you understand?
Of course I understand. I've been treating myself with mercury. I can tell you it isn't working.
Do any of your friends know about your condition?
Only Mrs. Helmer.
Mrs. Helmer? A married woman? How can she know about such things?
Well, most married women know something of medical matters, and they talk to each other about one thing and another.
Oh, right. To think you'd be so tactless to talk to a woman about such things.
What do you mean?
Don't you visit the Helmers every year?
every day regularly. Torvald is my most intimate friend.
And Miss Helmer?
Hers too. Sometimes I think she prefers my company to her husband.
Frank, is there something you're not telling me?
That I'm in love with her? Of course I am. I would do anything for her. Sometimes, when I'm sitting there, talking to her as intimately as I'm talking to you, I cannot for a moment imagine what would have become of me had I never come into her home.
Right. How about for today? We tried hypnosis, soul arrangement. I want you to take me back to the last meeting you had with Nora Helmer. And I'll be Nora. What have you found out, Rank? You must tell me.
Oh, it is all up with me, Mrs. Helmer. Within a month I shall lie rotting in the churchyard.
I must do talk of something cheerful.
Oh, but as soon as I'm quite certain that the loathsome end has come, I shall send you my card with a black cross on it.
Oh, you were acting quite absurd today. I wanted you so much to be in good humor.
With death stalking beside me, to have to pay this penalty for another man's sin, is there any justice in that? And in every single family, in one way or another, some such inexorable retribution is being exacted.
Oh, what an ugly thing to say.
As soon as... It is a mere laughing matter, the whole thing. My poor innocent spine has to suffer for my father's youthful amusements.
Oh, I suppose you say your father was too partial to asparagus and pâté de foie gras, don't you?
Yes, and to truffles.
Truffles, oh yes, and the heaps of port and champagne. It is sad that all these nice things should take revenge on our bones.
Especially that they should revenge themselves on the unlucky bones of those who have not yet had the satisfaction of enjoying them.
Yes, that is the saddest part of it all. Why did you smile?
No, it was you that laughed.
Oh, no, it was you that smiled, Dr. Rank.
Oh, you are a greater rascal than I thought.
Oh, I am in a silly mood today.
So it seems.
Here, come and I will show you something.
What is it? Ah, silk stockings.
Flesh color. Aren't they lovely? No, you must only look at the feet. Well, I suppose you may help me to look at the legs too. For now, why do you stare so critically? Don't you think they'll fit me?
Well, I have no means of forming an opinion about that.
Oh, for shame. That's to punish you.
And what other nice things am I to be allowed to see?
Oh, not a single thing more. For being so naughty. I do believe you feel thoroughly at home with us.
And have to leave it all, and not leave behind one a single token of one's gratitude?
Now, what if I asked you for,
For what?
For a big proof of your friendship?
Yes.
Ah, but Dr. Rank, you don't know what it is yet.
No, but tell me.
Oh, it is something out of all reason. It means advice, help, and a favor.
The bigger the better. Do tell me, don't I have your confidence?
You are my truest and best friend, Dr. Rank. You know how devotedly, how deeply Torvald loves me, and how he would never for a moment hesitate to give his life for me.
Nora, do you think he is the only one?
The only one? Dear Dr. Rank, that was really horrid of you.
To have loved you as much as anyone else has? Was that horrid?
Oh, no, but to go and tell me so, there was really no need.
What do you mean?
I shouldn't just think you could be so clumsy, and we were getting on so nicely.
Well, now that you know you can command me, body and soul, I beg you to let me know what it was.
Oh, I can't tell you anything now.
You mustn't punish me in that way. Please, let me do for you whatever a man may do.
I don't need any help anymore. But besides, you are a nice sort of man, Dr. Rank, but don't you feel ashamed of yourself?
Not a bit. But perhaps I had better go. Forever.
Oh no, you must continue to come. For Helmer's sake.
And yours? Nora.
Rank, good friend, this is too much. You haven't with Mrs. Helmer, you can't. You carry a transmissible disease.
Never. I never touched her. I wouldn't think of it.
Rank, you have to make an end of this. The end is near.
I know. At least she knows how I felt about her.
Yes, welcome to the costumes. As you can see, there are a lot of dolls. Some of them are missing faces. All of them have speech bubbles or thought bubbles. You can draw on them. You can write in the speech bubbles. You can draw a scene around them. Just be creative.
Spring, 1869. Mr. Krogstad, I am writing to inform you that our relationship cannot continue. I have long indulged in your advances towards me, but in truth, I do not care for your acquaintance, and would be much happier without it. I believe you will also come to see this as a wise decision. I have recently accepted the proposal of a wealthy gentleman in good standing who can provide for me in a manner that suits my education and upbringing. I beg you not to exert yourself with a response to this letter, as it would only be a hindrance to all parties involved. Christine.
My boys, 1880 will be a good year for us. Don't you pay attention to what people say of me. Your papa will be here to take care of you. He will always take care of you. Go off now in sight, my fine young man.
A decade later, and back in this town, setting up a new life. And for what? Dear mother, gone. And my two brothers. Oh, how much trouble you cost me.
Well, my dismissal. Torvald, my childhood friend, firing me. The conceited fool. It is time to tell him what his missus has been up to. Forging her father's signature.
Nora didn't recognize me. Have I really changed these past years? Would he recognize me?
Oh, I won't ask Torvald for a penny. No, I wouldn't give up Mrs. Helmer's forgery for all the money in the world. I want a job, and not my old one. I want rehabilitation, respectability, a decent life for my boys.
He has changed too, and not for the best. Is the man I love still in there? Somewhere?
Torvald will see. Within a year, I will have him in the palm of my hand, and it will be Nils Krogstad and not Torvald Helmer who manages the bank.
I have to help Nora. There was a time when Krogstad would have done anything for me.
Oh, poor naive Mrs. Helmer. She thinks her husband is irreproachable, invincible, the pinnacle of respectability. But I know him for the moralistic hypocrite he has always been. Certainly easy to blackmail. Merry Christmas. Please, take this to the Helmers immediately.
Mr. Krogstad! It is absolutely necessary that I should have a talk with you.
Christine, Mrs. Linde, I've waited a long time to see you again. I've thought about this moment often.
Yes, there's such a lot to be said, isn't there?
Yes.
And no time?
There never was time for us. And just when I thought there would be, just when we had the hope of spending all of our lives together, you spoiled it.
You never understood me.
What's to understand? Except what was obvious to all the world. He had money and I didn't.
Do you really believe I am as heartless as all that?
I got your letter. You were very clear.
I had to break with you to put an end to all that you felt for me.
And all for the sake of money.
Don't forget, I had a helpless mother and two little brothers to care for.
No. You had no right to throw me over for anyone else's sake.
Really? Women have to do it all the time.
I never got over it, Christine. Nothing's gone right for me since.
Not even your marriage?
That least of all. She died, you know. We had 4 children together and never really knew one another at all.
That sounds familiar.
I feel like I'm shipwrecked.
Well, I'm shipwrecked too. We don't dare say it, do we? We're afraid to hope.
Do you think we could? Do you think we really might?
Start again? Actually, that's the reason I came to the city. I still hoped.
If all this were true, I need someone so desperately.
So do I. I've gotten so used to having someone depend on me. I brought my brothers up. Your son shouldn't be so difficult.
Christine!
Do you think they might come to depend on me a little?
You wouldn't hate me because of my past.
I blame myself. None of it would have happened had I been with you.
Christine, you shame me. I can't talk to you now. After what I've just done. Christine, I've done these people a great wrong. Just now.
I know all about it.
But just now. Wait. Is that it? Is that why you've come back to me? For Nora Helmer.
Do you really believe that? A woman who has sold herself once to the highest bidder knows never to do it again.
Forgive me. I will ask for the letter back.
No!
But tell me the truth. You came here to tell me to do that, didn't you?
Yes. At first I did. But 24 hours have elapsed since I arrived. And in that time, I witnessed the most incredible things in their house. Helmer must know all about the loan. This unhappy secret must be disclosed. Nora and Helmer must come to a complete understanding between them. Right now, they live in a house of lies.
But there is one thing I can do, and I shall do it at once.
Someone to work for and live for. A home to bring comfort into. You're sure not being here next year?
This was addressed to you.
Oh, thank you.
As I'm telling you, Lange, Hedwig won't do it. She says Ibsen's ending is against nature. She would never leave her children like Nora does. Hedwig is a star. This role could ruin her reputation.
Or make it. Ibsen's ending is what makes a box office success. It is shocking, sensational. Listen to this critic. People leave the theater, night after night, pale with excitement, arguing, quarreling, challenging. A Doll's House has exploded like a bomb into contemporary life. It has no mercy ending not in reconciliation, but in inexorable calamity. It pronounces a death sentence on accepted social ethics.
I've read their reviews. Many of them call the play technically excellent, but written by a vulgar and evil mind. One even called Nora's final gesture Satan ex machina.
Hyperbole. Ibsen is a star, and Hedwig Neiman Rabe should count herself lucky to play Nora.
She will.
What?
She will. I am commissioning a playwright. to write an alternative ending. One that Hedwig and the rest of Germany will find not only acceptable, but noble.
This is exactly what I feared.
Well, there are no binding agreements between the North German theaters and Scandinavian countries, so we're free to do as we please with this. What did you call it? Box office success. Till that dear famous playwright provocateur.
Glotz. Wait.
What?
I have it.
You have what?
Ibsen's alternative ending.
When? How did you get a hold of it?
I wrote to him, saying he had reason to fear the publication of an adaptation with an altered ending. And he has written me back.
Well, go on.
Dear Wilhelm, in order to prevent the eventuality that you laid out in your correspondence, I enclose the draft of an alteration of the ending for A Doll's House to be used in case of necessity. Please know that while I entrust you with this changed ending, I consider it a barbaric act of violence towards the play. Its use is absolutely contrary to my wishes, and it is my fervent hope that it will never be performed. But, dear friend, if there is a threat of an unauthorized adaptation, I prefer, having learned from past experience, to commit such violence myself, rather than surrender my works to treatment by less careful and less skillful hands than my own. Sincerely, Henrick Ibsen.
Fantastic. Let's see it.
Against Ibsen's wishes.
Wilhelm. Lange. I have a star actress to please. Give it here.
There are 2 copies. Shall we read it?
Better yet, let's play it. I'll be Hedwig. Or, what was her name?
Nora. I will play Nora's husband, Torvald. Stage directions. Late at night, after all has been discovered between them. Nora says,
Goodbye, Torvald!
"Oh, you are leaving me. Shall I never see you again?"
How can I tell? I have no idea what is to become of me.
"But you are my wife, whatever becomes of you."
Listen, Torvald. When a wife walks out of her husband's house, as I am doing now, he is legally freed from all obligations towards her. In any case, I am freeing you completely. And you must free me. Here's your wedding ring back. Now keep in mind.
That too?
That too.
Here it is.
That. Now it is all over.
All over, Nora. Shall you never think of me again?
Oh, Torvald! I know I shall often think of you, the children of this house.
Nora, may I at least send you something?
Nothing. You must not send me anything.
Let me at least help you if you are in need.
No, I can receive no assistance from a stranger.
Nora, can I never be anything more than a stranger to you?
Oh, Torvald, the most wonderful thing of all would have to happen.
Tell me what that would be.
Both you and I would have to be so changed that, oh, Torvald, I don't believe in wonderful things happening anymore.
I will believe in it. Tell me, so changed that...
So that we can make a real marriage out of our lives together? Goodbye, Torvald.
Now, Glotz, here begins the altered ending. As Nora starts to leave the room, Torvald seizes her arm. Go then, but first you shall see your children for the last time.
No, let me go. I cannot. I shall not.
You shall see them. Look, there they are, asleep, peaceful and carefree. Tomorrow, when they wake up and call for their mother, they will be motherless.
Motherless?
As you once were.
Motherless!
Nora struggles with herself, lets her traveling bag fall, and says,
Oh, 'tis a sin against myself, but I cannot leave them.
Nora! Nora sinks to the floor before the sight of her children. The curtain falls.
Thank you, Wilhelm. Amazing. Incredible. Hedwig will be so pleased.
This is a disaster. Against Ibsen's wishes.
Once, there was a beautiful little girl who was all alone in the world. You see, her mother gave the little girl to a mean, old couple when she was only this high, and she never heard from her since. Now in this big, old house lived the nasty, rich, old couple. She scrubbed their floors and scoured their pots and served the old couple their food. When she was only 14, a terrible thing happened. She got into so much trouble with the nasty, disgusting old man that when his wife found out, she threw the little girl out of the house and into the big, scary world. She, who was scarcely a child herself, was expecting a baby, and that wicked old man didn't do a single thing to help. And so, off she went, doing odd jobs until finally she gave birth to a beautiful baby boy. And then off she went again, looking for work, but this time, everywhere she went, people said, "You? And a baby too? No, miss, this is a respectable house." Until finally, she came across a fine home where a baby had just been born and they were looking for someone just like the little girl. You see, the baby's mother had died.
What is your name?
Anne-Marie, sir.
How old are you?
Just turned 15, sir.
And what is that beside you?
My son, sir.
Well, Anne-Marie, we need someone to nurse a motherless baby girl. So if you want the job is yours.
Thank you, sir.
But you will be obliged to find another home for that child of yours.
Sir, but
That's the job. Take it or leave it.
please take care of my little boy. Please? Anyone? Finally, she found a kind, old woman. Please take care of my little boy, my baby boy. Goodbye. And so, the little girl never saw her baby boy again. You see, poor women always have to leave their children to take care of rich people's children. Sometimes they have to travel far, far away from home to do this work, even to other countries. That is the way of the world. And so, Anne-Marie grew up nursing the beautiful baby Nora. And when Nora grew up, and married Mr. Helmer, and had children of her own, Anne-Marie took care of them too. Of a Boudoir, and Bobby, and baby Emmy. Then she lived happily ever after in that stranger's house, caring for that stranger's children. They even thought of her as family, although she was motherless, childless, and alone. And that is the end of the story.
You don't recognize me.
Shh, the babies are sleeping. Can I help you, sir?
You don't know me?
Kind sir, this is a nursery. Can I show you to the parlor?
I've come here for you, Anne-Marie.
For me? What can a fine gentleman like you need from a poor woman like me?
Come, sit. All these years, why did you abandon me?
Excuse me?
It was you who sent the money. I found your address on the remittances when the woman who raised me passed away. It was your money that got me through school. It was you.
My son! It can't be. I must be dreaming.
Mother, how could you have the heart to put your own child out among strangers?
Young children easily get accustomed to anything.
How could you do it?
What? When I was to get such a good position by it? The poor girl who has gotten herself into trouble ought to be glad to get such a good position.
And me?
Oh, I knew you were taken care of. I sent you my entire salary. I even heard news. 3 letters from the woman who raised you. You were confirmed. You finished school. And you married. Oh, what a fine gentleman you have become.
You forgot all about me.
No, never. Come, look. Here,
are the letters that I wrote to you. Every year on your birthday. I never sent them. I didn't want to shame you.
Mother, come with me. Come live with me and my wife. You'll never have to work again.
What? You are a gentleman. Do you think your wife would like to find out that you were born in shame and that she has a servant as a mother-in-law?
Come with me.
I can't. I can't leave the children.
So, I must remain a stranger to you?
Yes, but I to you. Lived the life I've dreamt for you. Why I worked all these years.
Mother.
Kind sir, compose yourself. Take a seat. Let's play a lullaby that I sung for a child a long, long time ago.
Suggesting dialogue. I thought it for you. Sleep my ways to. Manage. Good enough, please. Shall we?
Torvald,
Yes.
if your little squirrel were to ask you for something very, very prettily,
What then?
would you do it?
Well, I should like to hear what it is first.
Oh, your squirrel would run about it and do all her tricks if you would be nice and do what she wants.
Speak plainly. Nora, you don't mean that silly request my little bird made to me this morning.
Yes, Torvald, I beg you so earnestly. You must let Krogstad keep his post in the bank.
Little Miss Obstinate. It is his post that I've arranged Mrs. Linde shall have.
Well, can't you fire somebody else then?
Impossible. It is already known at the bank that I mean to dismiss Krogstad. Do you think I should make myself ridiculous before the whole staff? To let people think that I'm a man who is swayed by his wife?
God, why not?
Krogstad's moral failings I might have overlooked. But we were close as boys, and now this tactless fellow adopts a familiar attitude with me. Every minute I hear Helmer, old fellow. It pains me greatly.
Oh, Torvald, I don't believe you mean that.
Don't you? Why not?
Because it is such a narrow-minded way of looking at things.
What did you say to me? Narrow-minded? Do you think I'm narrow-minded?
No, that's not what I meant.
Very well. I'm glad I sent it.
Sent what?
Krogstad's dismissal.
No, Torvald, call it back, please. There is still time. Do it for my sake, for your sake, for the children's sake. Do you hear me, Torvald?
It's too late.
Yes. It's too late.
Her anxiety really is an insult to me. To think that I should be afraid of a starving man's vengeance. But I forgive her, for it is evidence of her great love for me. Oh, my darling Nora, I have strength and courage enough for the both of us. I am man enough to take everything upon myself.
Krogstad will try to blackmail us, but I won't let him. And then? The river. Yes, the icy, cold black water. Do I have the courage?
Sometimes I wish something terrible were to happen, so I can show her how I can protect her.
Oh, where are you going?
Just to check the mail.
No, Torvald. Promise me? Not the tiniest bit of business tonight. I have forgotten my whole dance. You have to help me. Devote yourself entirely to me tonight. Promise me?
I promise. Tonight, I'll be wholly and absolutely at your service, you helpless little mortal. Let me just check the mail and...
No! I won't dance tomorrow if I don't practice with you. Correct me. Criticize me.
With a great pleasure.
Now play. I'm going to dance.
Slower! Oh, Nora, what is this? It's not so violent.
Oh, I can't do it any other way.
What are you doing? You're butchering this beautiful dance. Not at all. Not at all. Stop! No, that is not a bit right.
Didn't I tell you so?
You have forgotten everything I've taught you.
There.
You will want a lot of coaching.
Yes, Torvald. You must not think of anything but me, either tonight or tomorrow. You mustn't read a single letter, not even open the letterbox.
I see you're still afraid of that fellow.
Yes, I am. Men like him, they're capable
Nora, I can tell from your looks. There's a letter in our postbox from him, isn't there?
I don't know. I think there is, but you mustn't read anything of that kind now. Nothing must come between us until this is all over. You are my hero. My savior. I promise I will make you proud. Oh, something wonderful is about to happen. He will offer to save me, but I won't let him. 5 o'clock. 7 hours until midnight, and then 4 and 20 hours until the next midnight. Then the tarantella will be over. 24 and 7? 31 hours to live!
Where's my skylark?
There she is.
Know about that trick.
Yes.
We're thirsty.
You ready? children wanted to see you, to say goodnight. They missed their mother. No, I can't.
Nora, I had a talk with Krogstad. You must tell Torvald about the loan.
I won't.
Then Krogstad's letter will.
No! No!
What a wonderful party. Why shouldn't one enjoy everything in this world as much as one can for as long as one can? At the next fancy dress ball, I shall be invisible. Goodbye, friends.
Bye.
Tappet.
No, where did everyone go? Oh, I don't want the night to end.
Finally, we're all alone.
Torvald, you've drunk too much.
Oh well, perhaps my little Italian damsel. Ah, it's hot in here.
Where are you going?
The empty letterbox, it's quite full.
The letter. No, Torvald, no.
Card of ranks.
Dr. Wrights? Is there anything written on them?
There's a black cross over his name, as if he were announcing his own death.
He is. He told me that when the cards come, they would mean goodbye. He's dying.
Oh, my poor old friend. Well, we two will be quite alone without him.
Oh, read your letters, Torvald. Good night.
Good night, my little singing bird. Dun, 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 dun.
Never to see him again. Never. My children. Never. The icy black water.
Nora? What is this? Is this true?
Yes. I have loved you more than anything in the world.
You pathetic fool, what have you done?
You can't save me. Let me go. You're not going to take the blame.
Stop play acting. Do you realize what you have done? Answer me!
What? Yes, I'm beginning to understand.
All these years, you, who were my pride and joy, a liar, a hypocrite, worse, a criminal. You have ruined my future.
When I am out of the way, you'll be free.
Nora, what good would it be to me if you were out of the way? Tell me. You have no idea what you've done.
I do. Yes, I do.
Unbelievable. I must make a plan. Take off that shawl. Take it off, I tell you. I must see what he says. Hush him up at any cost. Oh, and as far as we're concerned, you and I, it must appear as if nothing has changed, but only in public. I won't let you bring up the children. I don't trust you anymore. Oh, to have to say this to the one I love. What is that? Get out of the way!
Yes, read it.
Nora! Nora, I am saved! Nora, I am saved!
Die?
And you too, of course. Look, your contract. He's returning it. He says that a happy change in his life, that he regrets and repents and blah blah. Never mind what he says. No. First I must destroy this hateful evidence. There. It's finished. Nora, I have forgiven you. I know you did it out of love for me.
That is true.
Nora, I swear to you if I've forgiven you. I've forgiven you, Nora.
Thank you for your forgiveness.
Where are you going?
To take off my fancy dress.
Right. Yes. Do. Try and calm yourself, my frightened little songbird. I've brought wings to shelter you with. Here, I'll protect you. Oh, how warm and cozy our home is, Nora. You have no idea what a man's heart is like. How indescribably sweet it is for him to have forgiven his wife. to have forgiven her freely. It is as if he's given her new life. As if she has become both wife and child to him. And so you'll be for me, my frightened little bird. What is this? You've changed? You're not going to bed?
Sit down, Torvald. You and I need to talk.
Nora, what is this face?
Sit down.
You alarm me, Nora.
Don't interrupt me. It is time to be honest. Does anything strike you about the way we're sitting here? We have been married for 8 years, and this is the first time we are going to have a serious conversation. I have been greatly wronged, Torvald.
What? I have loved you better than anyone in the world.
No, you never loved me. You only thought it pleasant to be in love with me.
What a way to speak of our marriage!
In our house, everything was arranged according to your tastes. And so I had the same tastes, or at least I pretended to. It seems I've merely existed just to perform tricks for you. It is your fault I made nothing of my life.
But we've been happy.
No, not happy. Only merry. You have always been so kind to me, Torvald, but our house has been nothing but a playroom. I have been your doll wife. I found it great fun when you played with me, just as the children find it great fun when I play with them. That is what our marriage has been, Torvald.
There may be some truth in your exaggerated story, but now playtime is over and lesson time begins.
Whose lessons? Mine or the children's?
Both yours and the children's, Nora! My love!
Torvald, you're not the man to teach me!
How can you say that?
And I? How am I fit to bring up children? You just said you didn't trust me with them.
In a moment of anger. Why do you pay any notice to that?
Because what you said was true. I must first educate myself, and I need to do it alone. That's why I'm leaving you.
What did you say?
I can't live with you any longer. I'm going away from here, now, tonight.
You are out of your mind. I forbid you.
There's no use in forbidding me any longer.
You foolish woman. Abandon your home? Neglect your most sacred duties?
And what do you consider my most sacred duties?
Oh, do I have to tell you that? Your duties to your husband and to your children?
I have other duties just as sacred.
And what duties could those possibly be?
My duty to myself.
You talk like an ignorant child.
I've never felt my mind so clear and certain.
Then there is only one possible explanation.
What is that?
You don't love me anymore.
True. I don't love you anymore.
Oh, Nora, what have I done?
Torvald, tonight I saw that you weren't the man I thought you were.
Explain yourself.
I knew that a wonderful thing was going to happen. When I saw Krogstad's letter lying there, I was so absolutely certain that you would say to him, "Tell the truth to the whole world." And when that happened...
You mean when I exposed my wife to shame and disgrace?
When that happened, I was so sure that you would say, "I am the guilty one, not her."
Nora!
Of course, I never would have accepted such a sacrifice on your part. But I knew you were going to take the blame, and that was the wonderful thing which I hoped for and feared, and in order to prevent that, I wanted to kill myself.
Nora, I would gladly work night and day for you, but no man would sacrifice his honor for the one he loves.
He wouldn't. It is what hundreds and thousands of women do every day.
You You think and talk like an ignorant child.
Well, you don't think or talk like a man I can share my life with. Torvald, I realize that for 8 years I have been married to a stranger and had borne him 3 children. I can't bear to think of it. I could tear myself into pieces.
But you're my wife.
Torvald. When a wife leaves her husband's house, as I'm doing now, she is legally freeing him from all obligations towards her. In any case, I'm freeing you completely. And you must free me. Here's your ring back. Now, give me mine.
Here it is. Nora, shall you never think of me again?
Torvald, the most wonderful thing of all would have to happen.
Tell me, what would that be?
We would both have to be so changed that... Oh, Torvald, I don't believe in wonderful things happening anymore.
But I will! So changed that
our life together would be a real marriage. Goodbye, Torvald.
Nora! Nora! Empty. She is gone. The most wonderful thing of all. Nora. Nora.